Hi guys, welcome back to Despaira. Today we're going to be taking you through some duel simulations, so don't miss out. With that being said, let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so before we start there's a few points to go over. Firstly, the border for the simulation is extra thick, but it won't be like that anywhere else. So today we're only going to be showing the basics during this duel, so no crazy combos or anything too confusing. This duel will just be a general mix of creature cards and trick cards, so no official decks. So when you start the duel, you want to place your leader along the back row on any of the 5 tiles along the back. Make sure you have 6 magic crystals in your inventory, and you want to draw 6 cards for your first turn. Right, so when you want to spawn a creature, you'll need to use spawn powers to spawn them. You get 2 on each of your turns and they do not accumulate. Each spawn power is equivalent to 3 levels, so if you want to spend 2 spawn powers, you can spawn a level 6 creature, a level 5 or a level 4, or alternatively you can spawn 2 creatures on your turn that are both level 3 or below. When you spawn your creature, you'll need to spawn it adjacent to your leader. So for example, I'm going to start my turn by spawning Aldome, the Shield Knight, and I can spawn that in face down defense position. Face down defense position creatures can move, but once they are flipped face up, they cannot move unless they are changed back to attack position. And that's all I'm going to do for my turn. When you place tricks, they'll also need to be face down and adjacent to your leader. Both tricks and creatures can move by 1 tile on each of your turns. So that'll be the end of player 2's turn. So now that is player 1's second turn, you'll need to add 3 magic crystals back to your inventory and draw 2 cards. So now I'm going to move my leader up by 1 tile, and I'm going to move my defense position creature to the right by 1 tile. So now I'm going to spawn this level 4 creature by using both my spawn powers, and I'll move it to the left and activate its ability. And this allows me to do some ranged damage from 2 tiles away, and that will also reveal the face down creature my opponent has. So as you can see, the opponent's creature has 300 HP, which means that creature is destroyed. Any surplus damage dealt by attacks will be dealt to the leader, but for ability damage, this is not passed on to the leader. Okay, so back to player 2. So now what I'm going to do is spawn this creature using both spawn powers and move it up to lock down my opponent's trick card. When a trick card is locked down, that means it cannot be activated until that creature has moved off of the trick card. However, this trick card is triggered and activated once a creature does move over it. So as you can see, this is now going to return my creature back to my hand. Also, do not forget that you'll have to pay the cost of the activated trick card, which is also the level. So in this case, 2 magic crystals. If they cannot pay this cost, then the trick card cannot be activated. So as you can see, this card has a ability that allows it to be miracle spawned. This means it can be spawned without any other costs, unless it has a condition or cost stated within its ability. Miracle spawned creatures can only be spawned face up, unless stated in their ability as well. So I'm going to spawn this creature in face up defense mode. Okay, so now back to player 1, so don't forget to add your 3 magic crystals to your inventory and draw your 2 cards for the start phase. Okay, so now I'm going to do a sacrifice spawn. So this is when I sacrifice a creature I control to spawn another creature from my hand. The level of the creature sacrificed will count towards the new spawned creature, so that's 4 levels. So to cover the remaining 5 levels, I'll still need to spend 2 spawn powers. So I'll do that and spawn Sir William adjacent to my leader, directly in front of it. As you can see, it has an ability that inflicts 300 damage when it moves. So any creature in front of it will take that 300 damage. So that's going to destroy my opponent's creature. And that's the end of that turn. So now for player 2, I'm going to miracle spawn this creature and I'm going to sacrifice it. Normal spawned creatures cannot be sacrificed on the first turn they are spawned, but in this case, as it's a miracle spawned creature, I can still sacrifice it to spawn something else. So now I will sacrifice this creature, which is level 3, and use both my spawn powers to spawn this Hell Flame Dragon, which is level 9. Also, creature and trick abilities do not affect leaders unless it's stated within their ability. So now I'll use this card to attack Sir William the Jouster, and he will be left with just 150 HP, minus 100 when I end my turn, and then when my opponent ends his turn, that creature will also be destroyed due to the burn damage. You can use counters to mark the burn damage or other types of damage. Okay, so now I'm going to spawn a different type of creature that can attack from a range as well as adjacent to her. You can see the range damage down in the bottom right, and also an adjacent damage when she attacks adjacent to her. And because she's level 3, I still have one spawn power remaining, which allows me to spawn one more level 3 or below creature from my hand. I'm going to sacrifice my Hellflame Dragon, which is a level 9, for another Hellflame Dragon, which is also level 9. So I'm now going to move that up and attack Sir William, which should have been destroyed last turn. But for the duel demonstration, I'm going to show what happens when surplus damage is dealt. So as Sir William only has 150 HP, so the surplus damage of 550 is now dealt to the opponent's leader creature. This means my opponent's leader has 1950 HP remaining. Okay, and that's the end of player 2's turn, and now back to player 1. I'm going to activate this trick card, which costs 6. So what I'm going to do now is flip both my face down creatures face up because they have Sir or Knight in their name, and then I'm going to activate this trick card, which will allow me to bring back Sir William from the graveyard adjacent to my leader. So now I'm going to spawn this creature and activate this trick card to increase the attack and counter attack of all warrior type creatures I control by 100. So now both my creatures will attack the Hellflame Dragon. This means the dragon is destroyed and there's a surplus damage of 300 which is dealt to the leader. So now I'm going to sacrifice this creature and use 2 spawn powers to spawn Goblin Dragon, and I'm going to use Hexy's ability to miracle spawn it from the hand by paying 3 magic crystals. So now I'm going to move Goblin Dragon up by 1 tile and attack Thorfinn, and 150 damage is the surplus which is dealt to the opponent's leader here. And I'm also going to move Hexy up and attack Sir William for 300 damage, leaving Sir William with 550 HP. I could activate some trick cards, although they're not going to be very beneficial in this situation, so I'm going to end my turn here. There's a hand size limit of 10, So if you come to the end of your turn and you have more than 10 cards, then you'll need to discard until you have 10 cards in your hand. So now I'm going to spawn Sylvia from my hand by sacrificing Peacekeeper and paying both my spawn powers. And now with my Sir William, I'm going to attack Hexy, and as you can see, Hexy has a defense stat. This means that an attack greater than the defense stat needs to be used in order to reach into the HP of the creature. So in this instance, Hexy will be left with only 50 HP as 600 attack is used. And now I'm going to use Sylvia to attack Goblin Dragon, which leaves it with only 100 HP. So now I'm going to activate this trick card and target my opponent's archer and move it by 2 tiles so it's closer for an attack. So I'm going to use both my creatures to attack Sylvia, and that's just going to deal 50 damage to the leader's HP. And I'll use Mystical Deer's attack on the archer, which leaves it with just 100 HP. Okay, back to player 1. And now I'm going to sacrifice my archer to spawn Dark Soul Stain in front of my leader. So now that Sir William is on 700 attack and Hexy's left with 50, there's going to be 650 surplus damage dealt to the leader's HP. That means the opponent's leader has 550 HP remaining. And now Dark Soul Stain will attack Goblin Dragon for 600 damage, which means 500 is surplus, which is dealt to the opponent's leader. So this means my opponent only has 50 HP remaining on their leader. Okay, now it's back to player 2. There's not a lot player 2 can do from here. I'm going to activate Witch's Compulsion and move Dark Soul Stain to the left by 1 tile to avoid being attacked by him. And now I'm going to spawn a creature in face down defense position to block my leader off, and I'm going to use Blue Feather Wing to attack Aldome the Shield Knight. So this breaks his shield and leaves him with just 400 HP. Okay, now back to player 1. So now I'm going to use Witch's Compulsion and move the face down defense creature to the side by 1 tile. And I'm going to spawn Dark Knight Estello and move him up by 1 tile and do a direct attack on my opponent's leader. This means they will take the full 600 damage to the leader, which means their leader has been defeated and they have lost the duel. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to suggest within our game, let us know. But that's all for today, so see you next time, guys.